Jesus is made unto you, and Jesus is made unto me wisdom, righteousness, sanctification, and redemption. That is whom Jesus is to you and I, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 30. You are so very welcome to this episode of ReVerbs, Wisdom Nuggets for Everyday Life. I am Lionel, and I'm so glad you are joining us on this beautiful day. Today's date is November 13th. We'll be looking at the 13th chapter of the book of Proverbs in this 6th season of ReVerbs. I am so glad God gave us the grace to be together from the first season up till the 6th. We'll be looking at just one verse. We'll be looking at the 4th verse of the 13th chapter of the book of Proverbs, which is the wisdom book in the Bible. I will be reading the Passion Translation. I read. Verse 4 says, "The slacker wants it all and ends up with nothing, but the hard worker ends up with all that he longed for." You know, we all have something we need, we all have something we desire, we all have something that we would like to have, we would like to add to what we really have. Funny enough, as human beings, we are always seeking for more. I remember some few years ago when I just came here, some few months ago when I just came here, I had an iPhone 4S. I was so glad. I was like, oh, I got this phone. You know, I came over with that phone. I was like, okay, I need to get myself a phone. I got an iPhone SE. I loved that phone so much. I liked it so much. I was so glad and all. So a few months later, I was like, oh, I need to get an iPhone. I got then an iPhone 7, and that was my dream phone back home before I came here. I was like, oh yeah, I've got the dream phone. I'll keep this phone. I will not change it for the next how many years. Mind you, some few months after, I saw somebody who had an iPhone 7, 128 gigabyte. I said, like, because what I had was like 32 gigabyte. I said, no, let me get this one with the 128. No, I am good. I bought it and I kept what I had already. You would think that's enough, but no, it wasn't. A few months later, I saw somebody who actually had an iPhone 8 Plus. I was like, oh, this is the phone. When I get this one, I am good for a while. And I got that phone. So what is the point of this story? The point is, as human beings, we always want something more. We never stop where we are, what we want. We always want something more. But now the Bible is not trying to say we should not want, but it's trying to explain to us the nature of our wants, the nature of the kind of people that want. The Bible here says that two kinds of people that want. There is a slacker and the hard worker. Another way to define the slacker is this lazy person, the person who takes everything for granted and just doesn't try to do his best. He just thinks everything will just fall into his lap and everything like that. The Bible here says that slacker wants it all and ends up with nothing. You know, so it doesn't. The question is not what you want. You know, everybody has something he or she wants, but the thing is, some people are ready to pay the price to get what they want. Others are not ready. You know, when you look at people like, I will use a very simple example. Let's look at a guy like, I know, for example, Bill Gates or somebody else, or Donald Trump or somebody that, you know, went from where he wasn't a slacker. He put his hand to the job and he got to where he was. But some people, like the Bible calls them slacker, they slack around. When I talk about some people slack around, I am guilty of doing that myself. Like sometimes we just hang around hoping that one day something will happen and I'll be changed, but nothing just happens. There's a one thing this verse is trying to teach us, that nothing just happens, because slacker is doing nothing. I hope that because he wants those things, they'll end up in his hands. They won't. The second category of people the Bible calls are the hard workers. The hard workers, on the other hand, the Bible does not even mention that they want anything. The Bible just says that the hard worker ends up with all that he longed for. Why? Because he worked hard. So basically, what is God trying to teach you and I? He's trying to teach you and I that whether you are a child of God or not, because somehow I had the same thought many years ago. The thought was that, you know, as a child of God, you don't have to bother because, you know, God, I mean, your Father has the whole world and everything. So I mean, why would you bother? If you want anything, He'll give it to you, right? But no, that's not the case. You will have what you work for. You can't just sit and go to make things land on your lap. The Bible says you will have what you say, which means if I don't say it, I shouldn't expect to have it. That's one thing. The Bible also says that he that soweth bountifully shall reap bountifully, and he that soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly, which means that I cannot expect to sow sparingly. Sparingly means sow a bit and expect to have a lot. I cannot sow a bit and expect to have a lot. No, the Bible says if I sow a bit, I should not be surprised when I get a bit. If I want much, I should be able to sow much. Exactly. God is trying to let you and I understand here that we will only have as much as we work for. It doesn't matter whether you're a child of God or not. It doesn't matter, because remember, we are living in a world ruled by laws. And those laws, for example, let's say, for example, the law of sowing and reaping. If an unbeliever or whosoever in this world puts that law into practice, he will get the results. Why? Because laws are no respecters of person. Laws don't, for example, the law of gravity doesn't care if you are born in Africa, born in Europe, born in China, or if you are fat, you are slim, you are tall, you are short. It doesn't matter. The law of gravity works all around in the same way. This kind of laws, all of these laws we're living in, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of restoration, the law of respect, the law of time and everything, all of these laws are all laws that once you put in place, once you put in practice, once you obey those laws, they will work for you. If you don't, they won't. So you and I are where we are today because of what we did yesterday. So if we want to be somewhere else tomorrow, we better change what we are doing today, because only the hard worker will end up with what he longs for. The slacker won't. I do believe that this blessed you. A word to a wise is sufficient. Jesus Christ loves you so much. That's why he came, bled and died for you and I on the cross of Calvary. He's coming back very soon. The question is, are you ready for his return? Am I ready for his return? As a child of God, you are blessed in the city and blessed in the field, blessed coming in and blessed going out. Stay so blessed. I love you. Bye-bye.